The Blood Death Knight is the most disgusting broken tank in all of Cataclysm. When you heal yourself faster than you get hit on by the boss, why the heck would you take any other tank? Yes, that's why I'm very salty about it. Let's take a look at your talents. Okay, first of all you get Hard Strike, that's a cleave, that's all you gotta know about it, not very important. Here, Mastery, your Mastery, every time you get healed by Death Strike, that turns into a shield 2. So you got the highest effective HP pool in the game. Even though you look like you're made out of paper, you are tanky as heck. Vengeance, that gives you 10% of your stamina in attack power when you're getting hit. That is very important because the more damage on Death Strike, the bigger heal, the bigger shield. And Blood Rites, you're gonna be using this to turn your Frost and Unholy runes into Death runes. They are like, what's the name of that card in the poker that got like a clown on it that you can use it for anything? The Jester, well, that one. And right here, this one, you get more stamina and you get more expertise and you reduce the cooldown of your Outbreak. Outbreak is the thing that you use to put all your debuffs on somebody, so that's nice, I guess. I don't know why it has a cooldown period, honestly. So we're gonna take 3 points in Blade Barrier, 6% less damage, that's pretty simple to understand. We're gonna take Bladed Armor for free attack power. Attack power is nice, everybody likes attack power. We're gonna go here, we're gonna take Scent of Blood because when you dodge you can get more runic power. We're gonna take 2 points in Scarlet Fever because this reduces the damage of the boss when you do Blood Plague. That's one of your debuffs, so that's really important for you. We are gonna take 2 points in Improved Blood Tap because it's gonna give you free death runes. We're gonna need those in a minute. We are gonna take 3 points in Toughness, free armor, that's easy enough to understand. We're gonna take a point in Bone Shield. Bone Shield is an amazing defensive cooldown. It reduces 20% of the damage that you take, that's really good. We're gonna take 2 points in Improved Blood Presence, that's gonna give you faster rune generation and of course you become immune to crit with it, very good, both of those things. We're gonna take Blood Parasite, this guy biting a rag for some reason, this guy. You spawn worms, that's basically it. Sometimes a worm comes out of you from somewhere and it does things. Then you go here and you take Sanguine Fortitude because that makes your Icebound Fortitude reduce more damage, and Icebound Fortitude is one of your most important defensive cooldowns, cannot go without it. Speaking of defensive cooldowns, we're gonna take Vampiric Blood because Vampiric Blood is also gonna make you take more healing and it's gonna give you like a tiny last stand at the same time. Remember, this applies to your healing. So this is basically a buff on yourself. We are gonna take a point in Rune Tap because that's gonna give you another 10% heal right there, and we're gonna take Will of the Necropolis because when you are below 30% HP, you're gonna take 25% less damage and you're gonna have no cooldown on Rune Tap, so that's a big heal that you can spam right there, very good. We're gonna take 3 points in Death Strike because it has death in the name. I'm kidding, of course. When you do more damage, you get more heals, like I said. So of course you wanna improve it. And then we're gonna take 1 point in Dancing Rune Weapon. This thing is gonna give you 20% parry, so that's simple enough, 20% parry, but it also summons like these ghost swords that go like wag around. The cool part about it, aside from of course the avoidance, is that you can actually take the sword, and when you're tanking a bunch of mobs, you got so much parry that you can like target one of them and you can blow them the heck up super fast. I thought that was funny. I mean, in Maloriak you can use it sometimes. That's cool. Then we're gonna take Icy Reach to get more range. We're gonna take Runic Power Mastery to get more runic power, of course. We're gonna take Lichborn. This thing will turn you into undead. You're gonna break out of fears. Very good. There's a lot of fears. And we're also gonna take 3 points in Epidemic because that's gonna increase the duration of our debuffs. And I hate putting debuffs on people. Now for the last talent, you got 2 choices here. You can either go for more attack power in Bladed Armor, or what I like doing, I like taking 1 point in Abomination's Might. That's gonna give you 10% attack power, so that's way more than this. And also you're gonna get a tiny buff for the party. You can even go as far as to sacrifice 1 point out of Toughness to put it in here, if you wanna get the good buff for the party, but I don't do it for the buff for the party, okay? Like, hopefully somebody else can put the buff on the party. It's for that 1% strength, okay? And if you want to take the 2% strength, that's even better. So 10% attack power, or even 20 if you take 2 points here. That's gonna be a lot of more healing in Death Strike, so that's really good for you. And also that strength, 2% strength. A cool thing about Death Knights 27% of your strength is gonna turn into parry rating 2, so this is free parry. As a matter of fact, you know what I wanna do? I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna sacrifice 1 point in Scent of Blood and I'm gonna put it on Abomination's Might. Haters gonna hate. Now for your glyphs, of course, we're gonna take Glyph of Death Strike for more boom boom. We are gonna take the Glyph of Heart Strike, that's your filler ability, and you get more boom boom out of it. Of course, you will like boom boom. And we are also gonna take, okay, this one is a little bit of a custom one. You can take Dead Coil, because Dead Coil, when you pop Lichborn, it heals you. You can take that. You can take Rune Strike, and that's pretty much it. I don't know, I guess we're gonna go for Rune Strike, but you can go for whatever. The last one here doesn't really matter, they're all pretty useless. We're gonna go for Major Glyphs right here. First of all, I like taking Anti-Magic Shell. Anti-Magic Shell is your only good defensive against magic, so increases the duration. It is very short, this is only 5 seconds. So making it 7 seconds, it's gonna save your life if you suck at the game like I do. We're gonna take the Glyph of Rune Tap, because that's your heal, so it also is gonna heal your party. I guess that's really nice utility for you. You can even take Glyph of Pestilence or Glyph of Blood Boil for a better AoE. I mean, you can even go for Vampiric Blood in here. The thing about Vampiric Blood is that it's not gonna increase your maximum HP when you take this glyph, even though it is mathematically worth it, because most of your HP is not real, it's heals, right? This is a bit of a double-edged sword, because what if your raid sucks? Yeah, then it doesn't work out very good for you. So maybe when you hit better gear levels, like we're talking tier 12, this glyph is gonna make a lot of sense. But right now at the launch, if I were you, I would probably go for Pestilence, because I hate missing Pestilence. The minor glyphs are kinda useful, all of them, okay? Horn of Winter increases your buff duration, that's good. We're gonna take then the Glyph of Resilient Grip. Death Grip is one of your taunts, and if you fail, you're gonna reset the cooldown, so that's convenient when you mess up stuff. And also you can take the Glyph of Blood Tap, because you're gonna be using Blood Tap to get runes, and why would you wanna hurt yourself when you do that? Your stat priority is gonna be, first of all, Stamina. Not only because you need a bigger HP pool than most tanks to survive things. I would say you need about 12k stamina if you wanna do normals, and 15k if you wanna do heroics. In tier 11 we're talking, of course. But at the same time, because your Vengeance gives you 10% of your stamina in damage, and damage is heal is shield. Next is going to be Mastery, because it increases that shield, it multiplies it, and being able to scale with Mastery and Stamina is gonna make you one of the tanks with the highest effective HP pool in the game. Next will come Parry and Dodge, and last I want you to consider is Strength, okay? Strength may not be the hottest stat for you to get, of course, but you gotta look at it this way. 27% of your strength is gonna turn into parry, so that's free stats right there. And also, strength is gonna give you a stronger Death Strike. A stronger Death Strike, as we said 70 times in this video already, is bigger shields, so there's a lot of synergy right there, okay? I'm not saying that you should go for strength, I am saying that it is significant and it is useful, unlike all the other tanks, so yeah, you can go for it. TLDR, get stamina and reforge everything to mastery, and you're pretty much 99% of the way there. Your rotation is kinda clunky. The single target one actually is pretty straightforward, okay? Your single target, first of all, you wanna put Blood Presence and Horn of Winter on you, because that's your buffs, you gotta keep them on you. And then you wanna raise a ghoul with Raise Dead before you pull. That is a surprise tool that's gonna help us later, okay? For the actual rotation, you gotta put Frost Fever and Blood Plague on the boss. You can do it in one global with Outbreak. The problem is that it is a 60-second cooldown, so you might have to use the boring Icy Touch and then Plague Strike to put them on the boss sometimes, which sucks. Then every time you can, you wanna do Death Strike. Don't put any thought to it. If the button is lit, that means you gotta press Death Strike. That's all you gotta know about it. Death Strike does a lot of damage, it gives you runes, it gives you shield and heal, it is everything you possibly want as a tank. If you can't do Death Strike, then in that case, you wanna do Heart Strike instead. And if you are capping runic power and you cannot press Death Strike, then you might wanna do Rune Strike. And that's pretty much it, okay? TLDR, press Death Strike, and if you cannot press Death Strike, you hit the keyboard with your mallet, and that's it. That's it. I could have spent 20 minutes explaining to you how runes work, but why would I do it when all you gotta know about it is that when you don't got runes, you cannot press Death Strike, and yeah, that's it. You just gotta press Death Strike. no reason to even know what your class does. Just press Death Strike. While the single target is very reasonable, it's very simple, I hate the AoE rotation of this class. You got this tiny, pathetic AoE that is called Blood and Decay. You gotta open with it, and it has a 3 year and 6 months cooldown, so do not get used to seeing it. And after that, you gotta outbreak a mob, put in all your debuffs, and then you use Pestilence to spread the debuffs to all the other guys. It will take you 3 globals to get decent threat, not damage. Threat. Once you get everything laid down, you wanna sneak as many Death Strikes as you can, because that's the shield, you need it. And if you cannot Death Strike because the runes or whatever the heck nobody knows, then you can do Blood Boil because you get the free procs, okay? If you get a proc, I put this Wikora in the Discord that tells you when you get a proc, so that's gonna make your life a little easier. And as a filler, you can do either Blood Boil again, but not free, just spamming it. If you cannot do Death Strike, or you can also do Heart Strike if you're cleaving, because that hits 3 people, and if you're fighting 3 people, that is a little more damage. It is archaic, it is slow, it takes 3 globals to do decent threat on it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Let's go over your defensive really quick, okay? You have Anti-Magic Shell, which reduces magic damage by 75%, okay? You may look at that number and you may think that's insane, but then you remember that your Death Strike is only physical damage, the shield, so if it weren't for this ability, you would be more fragile than Alex Sensual. It also makes you immune to magic debuffs, so that's gonna save you a dispel sometimes. I guess that's cool. Icebound Fortitude is gonna reduce the damage taken by 50%. That's your bread and butter cooldown right there. When you don't know what to do, you press it. It is amazing. Dancing Rune Weapon is gonna give you 20% parry. Army of the Dead is a 4-second cast, okay? When you're casting it, all your parry and your dodge, it turns into damage reduction. This is mostly useful for when you're gonna take a bunch of magic damage and your magic shell is on cooldown. Because as you guys know, you cannot parry a spell, so that's pretty convenient. It also spawns a bunch of ghouls, it looks super cool. Bone Shield is another 20% damage reduction for 6 attacks, so it is nice, but it is useless in AoE. Lichborn breaks you out of fear, and it also makes your Death Coil heal you. Sometimes you can use it, I never use it, but you can use it. Death Pact is gonna kill your ghoul, or one of the Army of the Dead ghouls, one of those, for a 20% HP heal, so that's really strong. Rune Tap is gonna heal you 10%, you can use it pretty often. Vampiric Blood is gonna give you extra HP and it's gonna increase the healing taken, so that's really good for when you're getting destroyed. And all in all, you got a decent amount of defensive cooldowns, okay? As far as Cataclysm tanks go, you got the second most. And you are gonna need those cooldowns because you are nothing but a walking pile of shields, which is ironic because Dead Knights are too stupid to use shields. Your meta gem is gonna be the Austere Shadow Spirit Diamond for armor. Your yellow gem is gonna be the Fractured Lightstone for mastery. Your blue gem is gonna be the Puissant because the mastery and the HP. And your red gem is gonna be the Fractured Lightstone again because your red gems, all of them suck. Not as much as it would suck when you moved on. If you didn't subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.